They promise low prices. However, once you get inside the store, it's a game of bait and switch. How the dollar store industry overcharges cash strapped customers while promising low prices. It's all going down. Tyrone Bowman live. I found this article, and I hope you find it just as interesting as I have. Interesting, brother, as I have. But we have to talk about it because individuals are overspending at the dollar store, Dollar General, or whatever stores they want to call it. And they're actually ripping people off. And this article was written for The Guardian by Barry Yoem and Jocelyn C. Zuckerman. The headline reads, How the Dollar Store Industry Overcharges Cash-Strapped Customers While Promising Low Prices. A Guardian investigation reveals Dollar General and Family Dollar stores often fail to honor their shelf prices, charging more at checkout for everything from frying pans to frosted flakes. On a cloudy winter day, a State Department inspector named Ryan Cofield walked into a Family Dollar store in Windsor, North Carolina, carrying a scanner gun and a laptop. Inside the store, which sits along a 3-lane road in a county of peanut growers and poultry workers. Cofield scanned 300 items and recorded their shelf prices. He carried the scanner barcodes to the cashier and watched as item after item rang up at a higher price. Red Baron frozen pizzas listed on the shelf at $5 rang up at $7.65. Bounty paper towels, shelf price, $10.99, rang up at $15.50. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Stouffer's Frozen Meatloaf, Sprite and Pepsi. Ibuprofen, Klondike Minis. Shoppers were overpaying for all of them. Pedigree puppy food, listed at $12.25, rang up at $14.75. All told, 69 of the 300 items came up higher at the register, a 23% error rate that exceeded the state's limit by more than tenfold. Some of the price tags were months out of date. The January 2023 inspection produced the store's fourth consecutive failure and Cofield's agency. The State Department of Agriculture and Consumer Prices had fined Family Dollar after 2 previous visits, but North Carolina law caps penalties at $5,000 per inspection, offering retailers little incentive to fix the problem. Quote, sometimes it is cheaper to pay the fines, end quote, said Chad Parker, who runs the agency's Weights and Measures program. So basically, you're trying to tell consumers that it's okay for them to rip people off in the name of getting a $5,000 fine. So it's okay for individuals to take their hard-earned money when they're strapped, especially down in the South, in the small towns where the economy is really bad, and just overcharge them because you can get away with it. That's what you want people to believe. You want people to accept being ripped off in the name of so-called low prices. The dollar store industry, including Family Dollar and its larger rival, Dollar General, promises everyday low prices for household essentials. But an investigation by The Guardian found that the prices listed on the shelves at these 2 chains often don't materialize at checkout in North Carolina and around the country. As the cost of living soars across America, the customers bearing the burden are those who can least afford it, customers who often don't even notice they're overpaying. Those overcharges are widespread. Dollar General stores have failed more than 4,300 government price accuracy inspections in 23 states since January 2022. A Guardian review found Family Dollar stores have failed more than 2,100 price inspections in 20 states over the same time span, the review found. Among these households of failed inspections, some of the biggest flops include a 76% error rate in October 2022 at a Dollar General in Hamilton, Ohio, a 68% error rate in February 2023 at a Family Dollar store in Bound Brook, New Jersey, and a 58% error rate 3 months ago at a Family Dollar in Lorain, Ohio. Many of the stores that failed state or local government checks were repeat violators. A Family Dollar in Provo, Utah, flunked 28 inspections in a row, failures that included a 48% overcharge rate in May 2024 and a 12% overcharge rate in October 2025. Check this out. A lot of individuals may think that these statistics don't mean anything, but they do. Because if you go from one store to another and you find out that it's supposed to be a dollar store and you end up paying $1.75 for something you paid $1 for, that's a 75% increase for the same product. What about Save-A-Lot stores? If you go to Save-A-Lot, years ago, individuals could go to Save-A-Lot as an alternative to Acme, Food Lion, Superfresh, and other stores because the prices were kept low, but the food wasn't that bad. Now, if you go to Save-A-Lot stores, astronomically, it's increased. The same thing with Aldi. Aldi may have some cheap things, but overall, they're just as expensive as anyone else. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to come a point in time that we as the consumers are going to have to rise up and we're going to have to formulate unity and boycott all these stores until they bring the prices back down to where they're supposed to be. The chain's pricing disparities are drawing increasing attention. In May, Arizona's Attorney General announced a $600,000 settlement to resolve a consumer fraud investigation against Family Dollar. In October, Colorado's Attorney General settled with Dollar General for $400,000 after its stores failed 15 out of 23 state inspections. Dollar General has also settled with New Jersey, Vermont, and Wisconsin, and both companies have settled with Ohio. The question to ask is, who is benefiting from all the overpricing? It's not like the regulatory agencies don't know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something when it comes to billionaires. Billionaires protect one another. They can argue, fuss, fight, and cuss each other out, but at the end of the day, as long as their profit margins are increasing and they're continuing to look at their financial portfolios, they don't care about people like you and I. But we care about ourselves enough to know that this has got to stop. Take Linda Davis for an example. A 64-year-old Family Dollar shopper in Dayton, Ohio, called the state attorney general's office in February after walking home from the dollar store and discovering that 12 of her 32 purchases had rung up incorrectly. "I'm adding it up in my head as I'm shopping," she told The Guardian. "But I was very off and I didn't know why. I thought, where did I miscalculate? I've only got so much cash on me." Davis, who lives on Social Security, said she could shop elsewhere, but that would involve paying for a bus ride. "I don't have money like that," she said. Both Family Dollar and Dollar General declined interview requests and did not answer detailed list of questions from The Guardian. Instead, both sent The Guardian brief statements. You know why you don't want to respond? Because you know that you're wrong. You know that you're guilty. You know that you have no business ripping off people, especially those who are on Social Security, fixed incomes. They barely have enough money to pay for utilities and other necessities like rent. This is the one reason why advocacy work is so greatly needed in America. Because if you don't have advocates to speak on your behalf, you're going to continue to be ripped off, continue to be taken advantage of. So this is their statement, quote, "At Family Dollar, we take customer trust seriously and are committed to ensuring pricing accuracy across our stores," the company said. "We are currently reviewing the concerns raised and working to better understand any potential discrepancies. We continue to be focused on providing a consistent and transparent shopping experience." That's a lie. That is a statement put out by their public relations firm in an attempt to make it appear like they are addressing the issue, and they're not. They're going to continue to do just what they've been doing, rip people off. They're doing it at Walmart too. I said they're doing it at Walmart as well. They're doing it at Target. They're doing it at Trader Joe's. They're doing it at, what's that other store? It'll come to my mind in a moment. Everything's supposed to be organic. This is why, people, we must pay attention. The divisiveness that politics is trying to wedge between all people, it has to fail. What about our survival? What about our sustenance? What about the fact that gas, food, rent, all this stuff keeps increasing? I told you all before the government shutdown ended that the Democrats made a dumb decision to end the government shutdown under the alleged promise that, quote, they were going to talk about SNAP benefits after it was over. And they knew it was a lie. And there's going to be another government shutdown that's going to happen, probably before the midterm elections. And this time, Democrats, get it right. Stop trying to appease these MAGA Republicans. They don't care anything about you or the people in the Democratic cities. They've already made it abundantly clear they're going to do everything they can for the quote unquote red states, and to hell with the blue states. They're going to do everything to try to make it look like the Democrats are the reason and the problem that America's screwed up. America's screwed up from the top down. That's why America's in trouble. So Dollar General's PR statement is a lie. Dollar General said it was committed to providing customers inaccurate prices on items purchased in our stores, and we are disappointed anytime we fail to deliver on this commitment. In one court case in Ohio, Dollar General's lawyers argued that it is virtually impossible for a retailer to match self-pricing and scam pricing 100% of the time for all items. Perfection in this regard is neither plausible nor expected under the law. Are you serious, you stupid lawyers? Are you serious? When something says it's $5, they shouldn't get to the counter and it's $10. And you're saying under the law that it's not possible to guarantee that the price that's on the shelf is not the same price as the register. I have gone to these stores and have argued with them. I'm not going to pay 3 times higher for this item when on the shelf it said this price. Y'all better fix it, because you're not going to get 3 times more out of me. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourselves. What happened to the motto, quote, "The customer is always right," end quote? That motto does not exist anymore. The new motto is to the customer, shut the hell up and get out. That's the new motto. Beware. Beware of the ripoffs. Every time you catch it, open up your mouth, say something about it. They know exactly what they're doing. The lawyers can argue all they want. It doesn't matter. It's still wrong. In nearly half of U.S. states, information about whether consumers are being overcharged was limited or unavailable. Of course, many states do little or nothing to monitor retail stores' pricing practices. Some, like Maryland, Idaho, and Washington, do no random inspections, responding only to customer complaints. Illinois, South Carolina, and others don't inspect at all. That's no surprise. In 2020, auditors in Kansas revealed that these inspections were a low priority and many states' consumers can check price accuracy themselves, they wrote. And you know why they're not going to do nothing? Because they're lobbying with the politicians in Washington and they're paying them big dollars to make sure that their interests are more important than the interests above the constituencies. Y'all better listen to me tonight. You better listen. You better listen well. Y'all better get together in unity in America and throw these folk out of Washington in the upcoming midterm elections. These people are not playing. Y'all think they're playing. They are following an agenda. And Project 2025 ain't no joke. It is real. And they're not going to stop until all of it has been implemented. It's a real agenda. It's a systematic agenda. It is a targeted agenda. And unless it affects you, your city, your town, your friends, your family, your associates, and your neighbors, some of y'all could care less. And some of you don't care anyway, even if it does affect you, as long as somebody else doesn't get more than what you have. That's the stupidity with the mind thinking of some people. Ripping people off is wrong. Taking advantage of people is wrong. Even in states with tougher enforcement, financial penalties don't always solve the problem. In the 23 months after Dollar General agreed in November 2023 to pay Wisconsin $850,000, its stores failed 31% of their price inspections. During the same period, Wisconsin's family stores failed 30% of their state's inspections. Now, this is down in the South. They failed. According to industry watchers, employees in lawsuits, overcharges often stem from labor practices within the dollar store sector. When a company changes prices, the registers are updated automatically, but the shelf prices are not. Someone needs to remove the old labels manually and replace them with new ones. Then get it done. Don't try to justify the wrong that you all are doing. Hire more people. Stop being stingy. You're making billions of dollars off of everyday people. In the industry known for minimal staffing, workers don't always have time to put up the new shelf tags. And that ain't no lie. You can go to any of these stores and they don't have a lot of people working in these stores. They want few people to do all the work for minimal wages. They want to work them to death. In many instances, customers may not notice that they're being charged more than what's listed on the shelf. If they notice at the register, they may decide to put those items back or ask a store employee to honor the shelf price. Dollar General in its statement said in-store teams are important to correct the matter on the spot, but customers and current and former employees said that while some dollar stores will correct the price, others refuse to make fixes at the register and turn away customers who return later and request a refund. Overcharging even by a small amount per item can strain a really tight budget, said Elizabeth M. Harris, acting director of New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs. If you've ever gone into any store with a child, like I have, there's chaos at the checkout counter, and you're not really paying attention. With items being rung up quickly, she said customers are trusting that the retailer is actually charging them the price that's displayed. Her state settled in 2023 with Dollar General for $1.2 million after finding more than 2,000 items rung up as overcharged across 58 stores. This is done on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. Anybody else, a street store vendor, a local vendor, they would have been arrested and charged with fraud. You know it and I know it. Go into the average store in your neighborhood, and if they overcharge you and you spot it, they're quick to correct it because they don't want to get reported. But major conglomerates can get away with breaking the law because they've got high-priced lawyers that they spend, give them tons of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars to lie for them in court and justify the wrong that they're doing. You can't do that. When customers feel economic pain, as they do now, thank you. Thanks to rising costs exacerbated by tariffs, price gouging, and other inflammatory pressures, one place they turn are to dollar stores. There's one-stop centers for inexpensive food. These one-stop centers for inexpensive food, clothing, and housewares tend to sell in small quantities. Example, $1 chicken noodle soup, can at a time. And they're relatively easy to get to 75% Americans live within 5 miles of a dollar store general, according to the company. Why should consumers have to be worried about price gouging? They did it during the pandemic. Price gouging at restaurants, price gouging at family stores, Dollar General stores, and trying to justify the fact that a pandemic had occurred. What did a pandemic have to do with the consumers? They didn't cause it. Consumers didn't cause inflation. Consumers didn't cause the government shutdown. The Republicans caused it and lied about it. Consumers did not cause gasoline prices to go up. Greedy, arguing, selfish CEOs and billionaires, so afraid somebody else is going to get more than them. Consumers don't cause things to happen. And you wonder why the crime rate is spiking in the nation. When people are desperate, they do desperate things. No justification. Insurance companies are ripping people off. No government oversight, no regulatory commission to make them honor what the premiums say that they have to pay per month. And then when people have to cash in on those insurance policies, they want to give them a hard way to go. Health care prices out of control. And y'all, we haven't seen nothing yet. They're going to try to pass all this stuff right before our eyes and tell us that it's helping us. The industry's largest player is flourishing. Todd Visos, the CEO of Dollar General. All right, Todd. He told investigators in August that his company's quarterly sales had increased 5% over the same period last year. Some of that growth, he said, came from middle and higher income shoppers tightening their belts. But the company's low income core customers were spending more at the chain too. So they don't care. Give me one moment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The CEO of Dollar General said that their profits had increased by 5%. So basically, they don't care. And he admitted it's at the expense of low income, quote unquote, core customers. So they're happy that they're overcharging people. He's happy that they're ripping people off. He's happy that they just pay a little fine here and there. He's happy that there's no impunitive actions in a major way against them. As long as we put some money in the pockets of the politicians and some corrupt judges, we're good. You don't think this stuff goes on? Goes on every day. Those customers have been the industry's niche from the beginning, when a 48-year-old former tobacco farmer and traveling salesman named James Luther Turner opened J.L. Turner and Son Wholesale, dry goods, shoes, notions, and hosiery in Scottsville, Kentucky in 1939. His mission was, quote, to sell the cheap stuff to the poor folks, end quote. Someone else had cornered the market on selling the good stuff to Scottsville's rich folks. In this tight economy, it is time to start your own business. Right? I've been to the well-to-do, quote unquote, upscale neighborhoods. Their dollar stores, they get everything right. If they make a mistake, oh, we're sorry, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, we'll correct it right away. Down in the hood, take it or leave it. Get out. By 1955, Turner and his eldest son, Hurley Callister, Cal Turner Sr., were overseeing 36 stores in small southern towns. Cal Sr. decided that year to co-opt the Dollar Days sales at big department stores and to open outlets featuring a single low price of $1. Adopting a name that nodded to the general store, he designed a bold black and yellow sign, and that June christened the first Dollar General in Springfield, Kentucky. Dollar General now operates over 20,000 stores in 48 states, more than any other retailer of any kind in the U.S. It has long since abandoned its $1 price limit. And though it has more than 195,000 employees and net sales of $40.6 billion, the company still calls itself America's neighborhood general store. I told you it's about the money. Family Dollar began in 1939 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and now operates 8,000 stores nationwide. For most of the past decade, it was owned by yet another chain, Dollar Tree, but the two brands divorced last summer. Remember Dollar Tree? I remember Dollar Tree very well. You know why they probably divorced? A business divorce? Because one got greedy. That's why. Greed. What Dollar General and Family Dollar have in common is a conspicuous presence in places that don't offer a lot of other retail, low-income urban neighborhoods and rural towns like Windsor. In other words, black neighborhoods and poor white folk. I can read to it. I can read through the crap, y'all. Listen, a predominantly black county seat of 3,400 on North Carolina's coastal plain, Windsor used to be a retail hub. All the streets were full on weekend. Recalled Russell Parker, a 66-year-old retired pilot. There were people everywhere, people playing music, and people spending money at the fish market, the cobbler, the Independence groceries, the automotive supply store. But today's Windsor's downtown, like many rural main streets, is pocketed with empty stores. The town never fully recovered from Hurricane Floyd in 1999. Every young person that graduates from high school gets on the first thing smoking to somewhere else. Parker said, can you blame them? If I lived in a small town like that, I'm out of there too. One supermarket remains on the edge of town. Shopping for clothes often means driving to the next county, at least for those who drive. But Windsor does have 3 stores that help fill the gap, a Dollar General and 2 Family Dollars. At the Family Dollar that failed multiple inspections, some regulars remain vigilant. Chris Outlaw, a 54-year-old hemodialysis technician, shops there because it's near his house and workplace. Experience has taught him to buy only a few items at once and to examine his receipts. Not all his neighbors do the same. I've seen people in there with baskets full, he said. You can just imagine how much of that stuff didn't ring out right, and they had so much they couldn't get. Customers walking into Dollar General stores are often greeted by a bright yellow sign blurring, hello, low prices, and by as many as 10,000 items cramming shelves and often cluttering the aisles. They will send you more than what you need of any product, says Stephanie, a former lead sales associate in Louisiana. Your shelf can only hold 10 Glade air fresheners, right? But they will send you 50. Rarely is there enough staffing. Current and former employees say to complete all of the tasks expected of them, including stocking shelves, ringing up prices, looking out for shoplifters, mopping floors, and updating price changes and sales tickets. This is really, I'm going to make this a 2-part video because there's so much more we got to cover. Stay tuned for part 2. Never surrender. Never quit.